Welcome back to the channel and back out onto the golf course here at Howley Hall Golf Club in Leeds. I'm Ryan Rastall, PJ professional here and also equipment expert for Golfshake.com. I have the brand new Callaway Opus SP wedges to have a bit of a look at today. But before I do that, hit the subscribe button, make sure you click the notifications bell and you'll see everything that comes out from all of us here at Golfshake to help you play more and play better. Right, let's have a look at these babies and talk a bit about the tech. So the major talking point and the reason this wedge gets its name is the spin pocket construction. A re-engineered two-piece construction head strategically reshapes mass to optimize CG locations. The spin pocket redistributes weight higher, raising the CG. This promotes a lower, more penetrating launch. The result is more spin and enhanced control, especially when you need to flight shots or attack type pins. The new Spin Gen 2.0 face is the most advanced face in Opus history. A new 17-degree groove angle with tighter pitch spaces delivers more groove edge contact for more consistent spin across a variety of lies. Combined with a deeper crosshatch laser pattern across the face, Spin Gen 2.0 produces enhanced friction for more bite and stopping power on all types of approach shots. So when designing the original Opus wedge, Callaway went through lots of different head shapes and designs. The guys on tour preferred what they call Shape 6. So this tour validated profile, trusted by tour players for its clean, confident look at address. It offers precise leading edge shaping, refined sole geometry, and is the sixth and final iteration of the Opus prototype shaping phase. There are 5 different grind options in Opus SP and the very popular X grind is back. Personally, I absolutely love that in the Jaws Raw wedges that I had previous to my Opus ones that I have right now in the bag. Can't wait to try the new X grind as well because, like I say, it's been very popular, not just for me, but for many golfers out there, offering that bit higher bounce, but also lots of versatility from different lies. To start with, we're going to try some of the gap wedges. So I've got a 52 here in Opus SP. I've got 110-ish to that flag that's up there. I've got the Trackman set up as well, so we're going to have a bit of a look at that. When we get to the end of this video, I've hit some shots with a brand new Opus wedge, as well as a brand new, obviously, Opus SP, and we've got a bit of a comparison that we're going to talk about, but I'm also going to give you some of the data as we're hitting these shots out on the golf course, and also a bit of feedback as to what I'm seeing in relation to what I would normally expect to see out on the golf course. So, reminder, these wedges are supposed to launch a hell of a lot lower because of that spin pocket design where we've had more weight moved up and the CG moved higher, so it should flatten the ball flight out a bit. So let's hit a few to this flag and see how close we get. Going back to the shaping, I know something Callaway said about making these look a bit more like the pitching wedges that you'd find in the sets, and you can certainly see that as soon as you sit that down. This is the first time I've actually put one of these clubs down. There's just a very, very different look to what I would expect. So I have a 50 in my current Opus wedge, and it doesn't look the same shape as this. There's a bit more kind of mass taken out towards the heel. The leading edge looks a bit longer and straighter as well. So it's a bit more like the pitching wedges that you would find in one of the Callaway sets of irons. So let's give this a hit. It feels lovely off the face. Yeah, pretty much my distance that I want. So yeah, carry was good. Let's have a bit of a look on the Trackman numbers there. So yeah, it's carried a bit further than 117, so it's maybe a little bit longer to that flag, but it's pitched pretty much pin high, that one, so that's a good shot. Felt lovely off the face, very, very soft. I don't know what I was expecting, but knowing that there's a big cavity behind the face there, I was almost expecting it to feel a bit different, and it doesn't really. It feels quite nice. It feels pretty similar to many wedges that I've tried before. It does feel nice and soft though, really, really soft off the face. Let's try another one. Yeah, it's more at the flag, just left of it. But yeah, pretty much, God, it's spinning like hell. It's come back about 15 feet, that one. So yeah, loads and loads of spin, as you would expect. They're brand new wedges, brand new grooves, and the first shot with many of these wedges. I've literally just hit those 2 golf balls with this brand new wedge, so I'd expect it to spin a bit. But yeah, that feels lovely off the face. The flight is a bit lower than I'd expect it to be. Normally with my 50, obviously this is a 52 as well, so it should probably go a little higher. But my 50 normally goes quite high, so this, you know, the flight was more penetrating. There's loads of spin on it as well. But I think for looks behind the ball, very different. For those of you that got Callaway irons, this is probably going to blend quite seamlessly with the Callaway set that you've got. Yeah, just, you know, I think a slight upgrade really on Opus in every way. It kind of looks a bit nicer. I love the new Callaway badging, by the way, this font that we've got on the back there and the chevron that's on there. One thing that I would always say is a negative with all wedges is there's just far too much lettering and stuff going on the back of it. All I want is that chevron and Callaway on it. That is it, nothing else. If you're going to put Opus SP, stick it on the neck somewhere where I can't see it. It just makes it not look quite as clean. I know I'm being pedantic. I know you can't see that when you sit it down behind the ball, but I just want a wedge that looks pretty pure, really, almost like a blade with just the chevron on, and Callaway would suit me down to the ground. So if you got rid of that, I think that would look pretty cool. So as we spoke about at the start of the video, there are different grinds and bounce options available in these wedges, and they're designed for different players, different attack angles, different types of shot you might want to play around the greens, but also different turf conditions as well. So whilst many of you, if you're looking at a gap wedge and probably into a nearly getting into sand wedge, you're probably going to be more standard bounce or grind in most of those clubs, certainly your gap wedge. When it comes to sand wedge and lob wedge, this is where we might have some variation in there. So the ones I have here, which are slightly different to that standard, are the C grind, the T grind, the W and the X, right? So they're designed to do different things. Let's start with X. So this is one that has almost a C grind on it, but has a bit more bounce, okay? So bounce is going to be great if you're that type of player who hits quite steeply down on the golf ball and takes a bit more of a divot, or you play on a golf course with softer ground conditions. The other situation where it's pretty good is out of bunkers. So we've got that bit more bounce in there, helping to get more mass under the golf ball and help you get that ball out. So if you're a player who really struggles with getting balls out of bunkers, X grind could be the one for you. Now, also that type of player may benefit from W grind as well, much wider in the sole, so a bit more width in there and more bounce at 14 in this, in a 60 that I've got here, so even more bounce. So great if you're playing bunker shots, great if you play on a golf course that's quite soft. Not so great if you're playing on a links, because it's probably just going to bounce off the ground and you're not really going to get the contact and the leading edge into the back of the ball like you want to, which is where these two come in. So we've got the C grind, obviously named because of the C shape of the grinding on the heel and toe there. So a bit of a narrower sole because of that, and it's a bit more versatile, so you can open the face a bit more. That kind of heel relief and toe relief we get there helps this wedge slide through the turf a bit better. So down at 8 bounce now. So this is better for your firmer conditions, someone who's maybe shallower through the ball. Don't get me wrong, you can still play bunker shots with a wedge like this if you're a good bunker player. Now this one, the T grind, scares the life out of me. There's not a lot of bounce on it. There's also a very, very sharp kind of beveling of the back edge there as well, so a very narrow sole. Again, for, in my opinion, a very expert wedge player would use something like this. You'd probably see this on tour. Like I say, I would be scared to use this because it's mainly for someone who's quite shallow, or you're using it off very, very firm turf. If you're playing on a very hard links course all the time, then you're probably going to go for this T grind a hell of a lot. But I always think it's good to have a bit of a mixture in your set. So the wedges I have at the moment, I have a standard, only because you can't get X grind at the moment in Opus. I have standard grind in my 56 and I have the C grind in my 60. But I think if I was going for these now, I'd probably have X grind in both my 56 and my 60 because it's just so versatile and you've got the added bounce. I like to hit down on it a bit, like to take a bit of a divot, but I also like the way that they go through the sand as well and kind of help me play my bunker shots. So we're going to play a few different shots here out the bunker and around the greens and show you what these grinds do. So I've decided to start with the scariest one, the 60 in the T grind, okay? I'm going to try and play a bunker shot with it. So this is probably not the type of shot that this grind is really designed for, although, like I say, you can still play bunker shots with them. What I would be worried about is how sharp the leading edge is going to be. It might just go straight into the sand and maybe not get the ball out as well as I'd like. So let's just play one here. Yeah, see there, look, it's just dug straight in. Absolutely zero from the ball coming out, and it's just, I've basically duffed it onto the slope because I haven't got anywhere near enough. If you can just look at that on the camera, look how that C grind, the sand on there, nothing on the back edge obviously, so it's just such a narrow sole. It's like a knife going into the sand there. Not easy to play this type of shot with. You can see how deep the amount of sand I've taken is as well. So let's try one of the other grinds for this. Probably shows that up quite well, because that's exactly what I was expecting to happen with a shot like that. And then it comes into your mind where you've got to try and hit this really hard, and you don't want to do that for a bunker shot of only this distance. So I've now gone into the C, which has got a little bit more bounce, slightly more sole, but it's still quite sharp. Let's play a shot here and see what that does. Yeah, better, easier to get it out anyway. Probably didn't get my distance quite right. I probably reacted to that first one a bit and tried to hit it a bit harder, but certainly we can see the sole is working a little bit better there as well. Not quite as sharp as the one that we're just using, that tee. We can see if I just take that dust off the back of it, you can see how the grind is actually working through the sand there as well, which is really good. Right, now let's try some of the slightly wider and higher bounces that are more suited to these types of shots. So what I'll start with is the X, which, like I say, would probably be my go-to for a shot like this. Bit more sole width in there, bit more bounce in there. Let's try and play a shot from here with this. Yeah, much easier. Look how easy that comes out the sand. So, so good. This is why I would definitely go for this. You can see now, if I just get that dust off there, you can really see how that grind's working. So much more sole width, a little bit more help in there. So if you're that player who wants to open the face and maybe play it off a tighter lie, you can do, because of that sort of beveling off of the heel and toe there. But if you want that help out of the bunkers, it's there as well with that grind. Now, we'll then go into the W, so the wide grind in this as well. Now, see if we can play a bunker shot here. This may have a bit too much bounce on it for me, but we'll play it anyway. Brilliant. I mean, look how easy that's gone through the sand. So much better. For those of you that really struggle out of bunkers, this could be the answer to all your prayers. You can see, if I just take the dust off there as well, just see how much wider, how much more sole is interacting with the bunker there as well when you're playing this shot. It's just an easy out kind of club really for you. Whether you play it with a square face or an open face, it's going to displace quite a lot of sand because of the sole width, but it's also just going to throw that ball out. So to be honest, that's kind of done exactly what I wanted it to do. That tee grind, very difficult to play this type of shot with, and kind of got progressively easier as we went through the grinds. Like I say, my personal preference would be that X, and I think that's something that they were missing in the original Opus. So we're going to try all these different grinds from the fairway. So we've got a shot here of about 40 yards to the flag. I'm going to start with the W grind, which was so good out of those bunkers, and see what it's like when we're playing it off a fairway. Yeah, really nice, comes out nice and low, bit of check on it. Yeah, I mean, certainly easier to play than I thought it was going to be from this situation. Let's then try the X, which, like I say, is the one, my sort of go-to, if you like, from this type of shot. Leading edge sits quite nicely into the back of the ball. Yeah, again, comes out low, spinny, very, very nice shot. Yeah, it's kind of the flight I was expecting. And that's the good thing about these wedges, is how low they do launch when you're playing these types of shots as well. So, which I think is a good thing, because it loaded with spin, a bit flatter, and you can just kind of get your pitching distance a little bit easier with that. So I've now gone to the C grind, which has obviously got a bit less bounce on. You can definitely feel and hear that sole interacting with the ground a little bit different. You could hear the pitch of the strike a little bit different there as well. A bit clickier. Seems to come off a little bit quicker off the face for me as well. Now let's try this T grind, which, like I say, didn't really perform well out of the bunkers and kind of scares the life out of me. Let's see what it's like on here. That's actually quite good. Hold it, I think. Oh, it's close anyway. But yeah, very, very different feel through the turf. But that is what this grind is designed for. Firmer fairways, not really much grass under the ball, and certainly a situation where you can get a bit more aggressive, hit through it. Yeah, I mean, that comes off lovely. Really, really nice and spinny. So not only has it completely changed my opinion of it, but they're the best shots I've hit with any four of these grinds. So from this scenario, which is exactly what it's designed for, the T grind's actually the best, even though it still frightens me. I mean, I could shave with that, it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, the flight it comes off at, nice and low, loads of spin, really, really good. Out of bunkers, not so much. But now we've tried these on the golf course, let's have a bit of a look at what we found when we tested them on the Trackman against one of the previous Opus wedges. Let's have a look at the results when we tried, it was a 50-yard pitch shot basically that I was hitting inside. We've obviously got Opus SP at the top and a brand new Opus wedge that I used down the bottom there. So we can see there is a slight difference in spin. Opus SP, about 100 RPM more spin on this shot, which is fairly low, but it is spinning more. The biggest difference is that launch angle. So remember, everything about the way that this wedge has been designed is trying to get that launch angle down, and we can see that the launch angles drop 28 degrees versus 30, which is good. We can see the dynamic loft a little bit lower that I'm delivering with Opus SP as well. Don't know why that would be, but land angle as well is a little shallower than it is. If we look at the height, 24 feet versus 27 as well, so a slight difference. So these wedges are going lower. They are spinning a little bit more, so that's exactly what Callaway are saying, and certainly backing up the, the idea of the design in these as well. So we can see in that performance, we are pretty much getting what we'd expect. I mean, for some reason, I have kind of had to hit that Opus one a little bit harder. You can see the club speed is 3-4 miles an hour faster with that. I don't know why I've hit that to get it to go 50 yards, just had to hit it harder. I don't really know why, but they've all landed around the same distance. That may equate for some of the different, well, to be honest, I wouldn't. I would expect the Opus to still spin more if I was hitting it harder, but that's obviously not happening. So yeah, it kind of backs up everything Callaway is saying about the way these wedges have been designed and what you guys should feel and see when you try them. So it's been great to test these out on the golf course, as well as have a look at some data to back up what Callaway are saying about the kind of changes in design that this wedge has had. I would say it's definitely very, very playable. There's different grinds for different people, and certainly they're very different in the way that they perform, as you've seen in the video here. So make sure you go see someone who knows what they're talking about when it comes to wedges and fitting you for the right wedge, whether it's at Callaway Demo Day and see one of the professionals there, or your local PGA Pro. Make sure that you walk away with the right wedge for your game, and hopefully your short game should get a hell of a lot better. But yeah, Opus SP is a definite upgrade on Opus, and something you should try if you're looking for some new wedges. But let us know what you think. Drop some comments in that comment section below. We love to hear from you. Tell us what you think about the looks of these. If you've tried them already, let us know what you think about the feel of them as well. I've been pleasantly surprised by these, and I think you'll all agree when you get to try them just how good they are. Till next time, we'll see you then.